Group CEO at MakeMyTrip. And Mr. Rajesh, hi, morning. Thanks so much for your time today. Help us understand, with the festive season kickstarting slightly earlier this year compared to the last year, how is overall sentiment around festival travel looking like this time?
Yeah, good morning and thanks for having me. You're absolutely right. It has started early this year, and we are quite happy about that because the moment the sentiment and the mood swings towards festivities, the spending in general increases, and we are seeing that similar sort of trend for travel as well. Early days of October, we've started to see some positive moments on. People started to book in advance for longer weekends, around the Diwali period, and even starting to sort of look at later during the holidays period, whether it's Christmas or New Year. And we've seen that, in the last few days, pretty consistent already. And I guess, not only the festive season starting early, it's also the general season, high season quarter for travel as well. And seasonality seems to be kicking in early as well. And also there is some impact this time around is also going to be, the GST announcement that happened in general, right? So, overall sort of consumption is expected to do better in the second half, and I think this is the quarter that will show sort of a impact of all these things coming together. Hopefully, very, very positive.
Indeed. Hi, morning, Mr. Magow. This is Shrishti also joining in, but help us understand which are the hot destinations for the type of trips that people are planning, because now that we will see the winter season kicking in, winter holidays and lots more, year-end as well. Where are we getting to see the most excitement in India as well as in abroad? Where is the preference?
Yeah, no, happy to share, and there are quite a few. The first and foremost, Goa is back, which is good news. And Goa has always been sort of top of the mind destination for the travelers in India. It was it had slowed down a little bit in the past, but it is coming back now with a bang. And then the other sort of favorite state with many destinations in it during the winter season is actually Rajasthan. So you have Udaipur, you have Jodhpur, you have Jaisalmer, you have Jaipur. All these Rajasthan cities offer a lot, and they become strong preference for the consumers during the winter season as well. And then you start looking at even the hills, because people would also want to even have winters, some cohorts going to the hills, and there Dharamshala scores quite well as well. And there's some, it's always not only because of the season, but sometimes it's all the demand also revolves around some event happening. So if there's a cricket match happening in Dharamshala, you would see demand growing there. And down south, you would see, the usual destinations that do quite well is Coorg, of course, Kovalam, and Ooty, for that matter. And then, last but not the least is also Port Blair, Andamans. And, you saw SpiceJet announcement, direct flight going to Port Blair. Port Blair is clearly a good destination for the Indian travelers as well. So, these are the domestic destinations which are quite hot, which is more leisure. And I must add one very important sort of point during this festival season, particularly. There's a lot of VFR, going back home kind of travel that happens. And there, all the top metros score quite high. We see a lot of the booking surge happening on the top metro cities as well during this time, because people want to go back home and celebrate Diwali, etc. Coming to the international destinations, the UAE, Dubai, and combination of VFR and leisure, Thailand, Singapore, Vietnam. Now, within Vietnam, very interesting destination that is getting a lot of traction is called Phu Quoc. In fact, we are starting, this winter direct charter flights for that, trying to sort of open up that market even more for Indians, because it hasn't really people are not necessarily, lot more aware of this new destination. We had done this kind of activity back in the days for Phuket in Thailand as well. And this time around, we are seeing some very interesting sort of experiences that that Phu Quoc has to offer in Vietnam, and Vietnam in general is sort of gaining traction as well. So Singapore, Malaysia, Vietnam, Thailand, Dubai, and then European destinations.
Okay, so that's a long list of where we're seeing good demand right now, and of course, some of the popular destinations as well. But Mr. Rajesh, talk to us about spiritual tourism. Now, ever since the Kumbh Mela earlier this year, this segment has picked up steam. Do you see this momentum continuing? Because pilgrimages and spiritual tourism, how does that stack up against regular travel?
I think it's a great point. And again, not necessarily on the seasonality. See, some part of the trend that we have seen is continuing and sustained. But during festivals also, this sort of further momentum grows for pilgrimage travel as well, and it's quite broad based now. It's not necessarily only sort of visiting temples and offering prayers. It's also just combining it with the leisure trip, if you will. And the destinations that are doing at least early days of October that we've seen from growth perspective are doing quite well are actually Puri, Haridwar, Ayodhya, Rishikesh kind of destinations, and they're only going to grow. We had recently launched a full pilgrimage travel trend sort of report, and which suggested that there are as many as some broad 54 odd cities that attract a lot of the pilgrimage travelers, if you will. And even within that, there are about 25 cities were growing at about 25%. The overall growth was double digit for about 54 cities as well. So it's also quite broad based, given the fact that the whole of India travels for pilgrimage, and they look for closer destination, and sometimes looking for newer destinations. And I think, during Diwali, Ayodhya is definitely going to see a lot of growth.
Okay. Mr. Rajesh, we understand in terms of your recent updates, MakeMyTrip has been investing a lot on the AI front, and you also have been investing in your AI tools like Myra. You've also announced a Google Cloud partnership recently. Help us understand how is that helping more traction on your platform, and how is that shaping customer experience in terms of how is AI playing out here?
No, absolutely. And AI is one theme right now, which is like very core to our strategy, both from product experience standpoint, but also looking at, more efficiencies internally as well. So on the experience side, like you rightly pointed out, that we've launched Myra, and it was a beta launch. And since the launch, we've actually seen very, very interesting insights coming in. And I'll tell you one top of the mind that we've seen very interesting, and which was kind of our hypothesis as well. While in our country, internet penetration is huge, but for travel or in general e-commerce penetration, there's still sort of a gap between online buyers versus online lookers, if you will. And this new interface in Myra, because it was in Hindi and English, and it could also be in English, if you will, and also voice input, voice responses, interaction. And we've seen a lot of the people are actually new users who are coming. Maybe they have not really booked travel, before online, and they are coming and interacting with Myra on voice. As they would typically talk to, let's say, a human, travel agent, if you will. So, and going all the way to booking. So, and we're collecting a lot of insights right now, and we do believe that this new interface. It is going to be an adoption journey from a consumer standpoint, but all kinds of consumers, even the savvy consumers, might find it even more convenient, because it is going to offer a free-flowing conversation for you to be able to do complete trip planning from the beginning, taking it to the end, and then eventually booking your trip as well.
All right, Mr. Magow, quite many interesting developments for Make My Trip, but you really made us think that where we should plan our next trip. Thank you so much for taking the time out and speaking with us and helping us understand the latest trend in the
Thank
industry.
you.